video is just making the American flag. So this is something I do in the classroom. It has a slideshow that goes with it. A colleague of mine made it. But this is just showing you a little bit about PencilCode. So right now, when you just go into PencilCode and make an account, it takes you into their coffee script. I'm going to switch it to JavaScript. You can go back and forth between blocks and text, so you are able to, type code in this. I'm going to use the blocks. Oops, don't know where that came from. Again, you can do it over here too to go back and forth. And if you go through and kind of hover over each block, it shows you what they do. All right, so let me try and get rid of that. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do first is have the turtle make a rectangle. So I'm going to make a function. I'm going to call it draw a rectangle. And the rectangle, you can do a while loop, for loop, however you want to do it. For loop is going to go from 0 to 2, so that means it's going to run 2 times. And since the turtle's facing up, I'm going to move a little bit forward. Then I'm going to turn right 90 degrees. Then I'm going to move a lot forward and then turn 90 degrees. I'm also, before I run this function, going to jump to like down here. If you look down here, it tells you which coordinates you are. So let me go right here. How about -225, -75? And then this function you have to call with the f of x block. It won't run unless it's called. So I'm going to call the draw rect. You could, if you wanted, have a variable in here, but then that variable you would only be able to use in one forward block. I mean, you could use an operator, but for now I'm just going to leave that blank. Oh, geez. Let's speed this process up and put the pen down. So I'm going to put the pen down. I'm going to make it black. I'm going to have it skinny, because this is going to be the outline. And let's speed it up. I'm not going to do infinity because I do want it to be seen. All right, so now we got this rectangle. Now, there are 13 stripes. So after the turtle draws that, I want to do it 13 times. The trick here is, though, I don't want to do it 13 times right where the turtle's standing. I need the turtle to move up before it does another rectangle. So I'm going to grab a for loop. I'm going to draw the rectangle. After I draw the rectangle, I'm going to go forward. Now, we know that amount, it's 20, because that's what I set it to. So we're going to go forward 20 before another rectangle is drawn. And we're going to do this 13 times. Awesome. Now, the trick here is we need to color them. Red, white, red, white, red, white. I am going to use something called mod. If you've never heard of mod, mod is an operator used in computer science that just means the remainder. And it's indicated with a % sign. I don't see it here, so we're just going to type it in. So what I'm going to do is an if statement. And I'm going to say if j mod, so use a % sign, 2. Now, if you divide by 2, there's only 2 remainders that you can get, and mod is checking for the remainder. So if you divide a number by 2, you're either going to get a 1 as a remainder or a 0. So think about it. 2 mod 2 is 0. There's no remainder when you divide 2 by 2. If you do 3 mod 2, your remainder is 1. If you do 4 mod 2, your remainder is back to 0. 5 mod 2 is 1, and so forth. So what I'm going to do is check. The first number is 0. 0 mod 2 is 0. So I'm going to say if the mod is 0, I'm going to fill my rectangle with red. Else, that means it'll have a remainder of 1. I'm going to fill it with white. All right, so now you got that. Now, if you don't like the outline black, you can leave it so the pen is actually not drawn here, like you don't have a pen color there. And then I think if I get rid of it, I don't, let me try it. No, I guess the pen has to be down. You could just, I guess, do pen red, pen white. I like the black outline, so I'm probably going to put it back to black. Oh my gosh, sorry. No, that doesn't work either. All right, forget what I'm talking about. I know there's a way to do it. We're not going to worry about it now. I'm going to leave it as black. All right, so now we're going to do the blue rectangle here. I'm going to be honest, I don't know the exact proportions of the blue rectangle to the actual flag, but we'll just do what looks right. First thing I'm going to do is turn right before I draw it. So I'm going to draw another rectangle. I can't use the draw rect because it's going to draw it by 400. So I can't do that. So I'm just going to actually copy this code right here and paste it down here. And we're going to go forward. Since this whole thing is 400, maybe go forward 175 and go down 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120. Maybe go down 120. All right, so you see it there. You can't see that because it's over. I overlapped it on that guy. And after that, we're going to fill it blue. All right. It's a little small. Maybe I'll go up to 200 and go to 140. See if that looks all right. This point you might want to put, yeah, let's leave it like that. I might put speed infinity. I wanted to be able to see it being drawn for the benefit of you. So when you do speed infinity, it literally just draws it right there for you. All right, so now we're going to do some stars. So I'm going to have the turtle jump somewhere like right here. This is negative 220, 170. And now to make a star, we're going to use a for loop 5 times. I'm going to be moving and turning 144 degrees. Now there's 36 degrees inside the star, so when the turtle is turning, it's actually the supplement of the angle. It's on the outside of the angle. So whatever the supplement is to make a straight line. So the turtle moves up and he's turning down, so there would be 36 degrees if I were to draw, you know how you draw a star like that. There, when the turtle turns down, he's turning on the outside of the angle. All right, so these stars are going to be super tiny because you see how much, there's not a ton of room in here. So I'm going to go forward 15 and then right 144. And that will be 5 times. Now these stars I want white, so I'm going to have my pen white. And then I'm going to fill my star with white after the star is drawn. Sorry, I got to move this down. All right, let's try that. That's a little thick. All right, there we go. So we got a star there. So I need 6 stars going across. So the American flag goes 6 and then 5 and then 6 and then 5. So since I want to repeat this, I'm going to use another for loop, and I'm going to pop these two in here. Now, this outer for loop will be how I get these 6 stars drawn. So I want this done 6 times. After one of my stars is drawn, so after this code runs, it draws a star and fills it white, I need the turtle to shift over. So the move ones actually, when they shift over or jump, it puts the pen down. So I'm going to use this one, the jump. The jump actually picks it up. Jump XY means change whatever X I'm on, change it by this number. Whatever Y I'm on, change it by this number. I don't want to change my Y because I want the turtle to stay along this row. 30 might be too much. Let's try 20 and just see what happens. Oh, can't have 2 J's. We need to change these. I'm sorry. When you have a for loop embedded in another for loop, you need to change. Too close. Let's try 30. All right, that's fine. I'm going to move this guy over a little bit. Let's move it to like 210, negative 210. All right, that looks good. Now, I'm going to repeat that. So it'll be 6, 5. I think there's 5 rows of, let's see, 5 rows of 6 would make 30, and 4 rows of 5, yeah. So we need 5 rows of these guys. So what I'm going to do is another for loop. So I need 5 rows of 6, 4 rows of 5. So what I could actually do is I could do that all in one of these and just have an if statement. So that's 9 times. So I'm going to add an if-else statement and throw all this in the if part. So basically, the first row is 6 stars. The next one's going to be 5. So what I'm going to do is use the mod again. I'm going to say if k mod 2 is equal to 0, then I'm going to make a row of 6 stars. Else, I'm going to make a row of 5. So I can copy this code because I know this makes a row of stars. I just want a row of 5 stars if I come to the else. Okay? Now, I know I just did a lot in a small frame of time. So I want my turtle to make a row of 6 stars. Then I want him to come down just a little bit, come back over, and make a row of 5. And then come back down and make a row of 6. So after it makes this row of 6 stars, I need it to come back down here. But I don't want it to go back to its starting point. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. So its starting point would be 6 times however much I moved. 6 times 30 would be negative 180. So I would have to go back negative 180 to do another row of 6 in that same line. But I want to do a row of 5, and I want it to be right split in the middle. So I don't want to go back negative 180. I want to go back negative 180 minus 15, because 15 would be half of this 30 that we moved. So that would be negative 165. That would be for the y, I'm sorry. Oh no, that would be for the x. Now my y, let's just try negative 15, see where that brings us. Now, let's bring this. Actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that out for a second. Let me just see what this does. Okay, so the reason it looks like that is because I have 6 start rows. So it did come down, and that's where it started. So that's kind of perfect, I think, where it's starting. And then we would need it to come back here. So let me undo, or let me copy this guy right here and paste it here. And then now we went forward negative 165, but now I want to go back. Let's try that. Hold on. Oh, whoops, sorry. I had to change that to 5. All right, I went back too far. So if we went over, oh, that's why. Because I went over 5 times 30. It would be negative 150 plus that 15. So maybe we do need just negative 165. Okay. If we just scooch these up a little bit, we might be all right. That's pretty good. They're touching the line, but it's pretty good. I'm just trying to figure out where that should be started, but I think that looks pretty good. So that is our American flag. I mean, obviously it's not perfect. It's not completely proportional. There's a little bit of blue space here, but we could technically, if that annoyed you, you could make this blue right here. We could make it a little bit shorter. So I remember I changed it from 175 to 200. I could make it like 185. Let's see what that does. And then I could, since remember I moved those guys over, I could move this back to negative 220 and just see what that looks like. Yeah, so you can play around with it. It's your flag, so you could figure out what looks best, or you can actually look up the dimensions and proportions of the rectangle, the blue rectangle, to the stripes and see what works best. All right, so that is it for this video.